Th Thank you for asking that question. As you know, Terry, I was kind of panicking. You have seen me that time, and even having those SOS calls with you on how to go about, and I had a deadline to complete. And as you know, over the years, we had a lot of information with us, and I started kind of putting all the information there and completely getting lost how to start exactly as you
Yeah.
said. But one thing, what the approach I followed throughout the book process was, I wasn't planning to, okay, even though there was a kind of feeling that we had to write a book anyway, we were thinking about that. When this was something, I didn't go for it, it just came to me. So I always have a kind of a belief within me that if life has given me something, there should be something good out of it, or life knows that I can do that. So rather than me going and getting anything, when things have come to me, they have actually done good to me. So I had that belief in me, okay, this has actually come to me. I haven't gone for this. And I normally, meditate on that.
Yeah.
So every time, I had to kind of start a chapter, for example, I used to just set that intention and say, okay, I want to write this. And I would just ask, okay, kind of go inside and help me. How do I shape this? What do I have to do this? Or how do I even go about it? And for me, this book was for the BA community, as we know. So which means for me, it is all about asking why we need something. So that is
Yeah.
when okay, if I'm a business analyst, why do I need to even talk about cybersecurity? Why need to I even read about it? So that was the first seed, just from a BA perspective, because we know that today we have CCA where it talks about a lot of technical stuff. And there
Yeah.
is still a gap from completely a BA to completely moving to the cybersecurity. We need that shift. And that shift is a lot of non-technicalities there to understand the concepts. And because yes, technical solutions will come from those experts and the technical teams. We are there like the conduit, like even the business, even today our products, there are technical teams who actually provide those solutions, but we just write the requirements. So similarly, even here for us, coming from that angle. So that's how the first chapter for me kind of came up as a BA, because as this is for the BA community. And then, okay, now there is a groundwork laid from a BA perspective, and this has two perspectives. Okay, now how do we look at cybersecurity? And
Mhm.
we had done a lot of work, as you know. So some of the things I'm sure you can relate to those stories, like how we were using that in the workshop and all that. So those things later on, but that's when the foundation started, and when I actually wrote that box of mindset. And then, okay, it's all about business analysis throughout, because it's the two sides of it. And then one pillar automatically came up. And
Mhm.
then, okay, what is the other pillar? It was risk, because risk has to be, it's a cyclic approach.
Yeah.
And that's how, those two pillars came, and then the filling things. But yes, I think before every chapter, I had just set that intention. This is a chapter about this. And funny enough, some of the stories which I had heard in my childhood, nowhere I had that on top of my mind. However, when I meditated, all of a sudden, that story came. And of course, you know that I've been meditating for years now, and I
Yes.
cannot imagine a day. And I always feel that when I go into that space, I get a true response, which is not biased from any other things that the mind is kind of, really going for, which we come from our, it could be from our attachments, from fears, or thinking, oh, what is going to happen, or anything. Whereas it comes from a true space when we quieten that agitated or frustrated, tensed mind. So that is how it kind of shaped. But oh my God, Terry, there were days and nights I
Uh-oh.
cried for exhaustion, not for any other things. And